Hello everyone, it's Dark Maverick here, a Linux gamer, a lover of many forms of open source code and projects, tech related stuff, and more. Sorry I've been away for a while. Family medical issues involved me having to leave my house for a periodic time. And I wanted to start off with a video about Gab forking Mastodon and joining the Federation on their own instance, which I will be getting to. But instead we need to talk about Atari VCS here. Atari VCS did do some updates at E3, from what I've heard and read in the news. But my YouTube feed is full of big console gamers or big PC gamers and stuff that are just calling it a scam still. That's really, from my point of view, it's not. I'm not saying you should buy it or you should not buy it. That choice is yours. So let's go ahead. This is just one example of the video so far. Review Tech USA. I've never seen any of his videos before, so I don't really follow his channel or anything like that. But he's telling you it's kind of a scam. It's still crap. Don't buy it. And I watched the whole video. And I've seen a few other YouTubers, and journalists and stuff kind of looking at it, and they don't really give the Atari VCS the attention that it deserves and talk through everything in it. For instance, Review Tech USA here just looks at the hardware, and he looks at it from a console gaming perspective and puts it next to the Xbox and the PlayStation, which isn't the market Atari's aiming for here. At least it's not to me. Atari seems to be taking a shotgun approach and aiming at a bunch of niches and maybe some new console gamers to boot. I don't really know. They haven't discussed that. But he's just talking about hardware. How Atari would only have so many games. There's even game studios that are like, we haven't done a game for Atari, and and people are understanding this from a Windows gaming perspective and a console gaming perspective. So they really don't understand the amount of work that's been put in on Linux gaming in probably the last 5 years, especially just the last 2 years in general. And they're looking at this the wrong way. So let's kick this off. I don't really have anything against him. I can see his point of view if I didn't know as much about Linux gaming as I do as a Linux gamer. Let's start off here. What's the SlashGear article? There's plenty of articles like this. I just picked them for whatever reason. We have the Atari VCS. The pre-orders should be here pretty soon. At E3 they actually did reveal some, I don't know if they have pictures of them, they appear not to. They have pictures of the actual units. But it looks like they're giving a March 2020 date for everybody who didn't pre-order. Really, I would agree with this article that it's still kind of a jack of all trades console. That is kind of what it seems to be. But it's geared more towards a PC gamer. That's who's going to get the most out of the Atari VCS by far. And even more is the Linux gamer. It's like this thing was being given to us on almost a golden platter. I still have a few discrepancies with it, but we'll get to those. Right here, this is probably what he's talking about here is the Sandbox Mode. This is probably one of the biggest things with the Atari. Now, recently Atari has stated that they're going to do their own custom Linux, and that's one of the things that I'm kind of like, that was a waste of resources down a rabbit hole they didn't need to go. They did apparently make Sandbox Mode, which you will be able to USB boot drive or probably just install right on the damn thing. Ubuntu, Chrome OS, but so what they're not mentioning here one, if you would ever install Windows on that, you're just going to kill the system. Probably. Two, there are so many gaming Linux distros that you know, you don't have to use Ubuntu. There's Mint and there's so many of those, and I'm not going to get involved in any of that. But pretty much you're looking at what this thing is like a little mini gaming, little mini jack of all trades box to throw up on your TV, right? And it goes on to talk about the two models, but we'll just go right to Atari's website for that. So they've got two different systems you could pre-order. They have this 800, and then there's a 400, which is 4 gigabytes less of RAM. I'm not going to go into the prices too much, but they're, you know, around what a gaming console will look like. They do cost more, apparently with controllers and stuff. From my understanding of these, you know, these are all going to be extras and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. Atari World, their Linux-based OS, I mean, it looks really good. That appears to be like a custom version of Genome, maybe? I'm not sure. It could be a great version, I have no idea. But one of the biggest things that all of these game reviews and stuff on the Atari are missing is this. The Atari is coming with Linux on it. And the ability to use Steam, among other things. So, as a gamer on Linux, Steam works great over here, and there's tons of native games on Steam. I went over this in my last video, and some of the things that are available for it. Okay? There's tons of native Linux games. If you don't have native Linux games, so you got a Windows game that you want to run, you can use Steam Play right out of the box in Steam. You know, so you'd be able to do this on the Atari. This thing's really advanced, so if you're looking gold and then above, means pretty much you just click the install button and the game works. So non-native games can run just fine through Steam. Top 10, top 100 is 59%, so that's not bad. You know, and things like that. And then you also have stuff like Lutris. I'm not going to go too heavily into this. If you want to see these, go to my last video about the Atari. You know, and there's a bunch of stuff in here. Like I use Lutris actually for World of Tanks. Works great over here. Don't have any issues whatsoever playing World of Tanks on Linux, and that's definitely not a native game. You have other Linux game stores where that offer games on Linux, not per se they're just Linux gaming. itch.io has a bunch on Linux. I've been over this too. So you've got this massive game library already. You know, you're talking probably 60-70% or more of the Steam library, Steam Game Store library. itch.io, whatever's there, you know, other game stores like that. And that's great. Now, when we look at the Atari VCS, you're going to notice a few things. One, the hardware stats on this. I don't see them here, but they mention them in the article. 8 gigabytes of RAM, you know, or 4 gigabytes of RAM, depending which version of this you got. And the Ryzen APU and stuff, they're nothing to write home about, and they are not going to be as powerful as the next generation game consoles, right? But really, this thing shouldn't be getting stacked up about it. The person who's going to get the most out of their Atari VCS is somebody like me, or anybody who's a gaming PC aficionado, right? You already have a massive Steam library, right? You already have video games maybe from itch.io or some of these other places, right? You know, or just take Steam period, right? You have a massive library of Steam. Let me move this over here so you guys can see this. This is my library. I have 602 games. Right now it's showing all of them because of my settings for Steam as Steam Proton enabled for everything, but more than half my library works out natively on Linux. So, but the greatest thing is this. I can have, say, your beast games that are not going to work on the Atari VCS. You know, you're talking, oh, I probably wouldn't play Ark. Okay, I probably wouldn't play Ark, period. But let's say I wanted to play Ark in the living room with my girlfriend and boy, right? Sorry about that. Well, you could do that. You would just stream it right there to the Atari VCS. You'd have the game running on your beastie gaming machine, and you'd be playing it in the living room. That's kind of what this is. It's like a big Steam Link, right? It's just got way more capabilities, way more power to it. I have one of these, and it's horrible. That's why I have my old gaming machine in the living room, but it's huge, it takes up too much room, and everything else like that. And I mean, I've used Steam Link on my phone, on my tablets, and everything else. Here's the app on Android. I've played Farm Together on it. I've played Civilization, Crusader Kings 2. I've played several games without any issues whatsoever. No lag, no nothing. I've even linked my Steam controller up to my phone and been able to use that, so that's pretty cool. So that's one of the biggest things you're going to be able to do with the Atari. Any game you want to play, you're probably going to be able to play on the Atari as long as you have a beast gaming machine to take, you know, the brunt of the force and do all the work. One of the other things that he mentions was the controllers, and he harps on about these controllers, right, that they're so expensive. But we need to point some things out here. It's Linux, right? That's a community run operation. So you can use your Xbox controller, you can use your PlayStation controller. I'm going to use my Steam controller on mine. You know, those options are there. You don't need the Atari controllers. If you want them, get them, you know. But there's really, you know, there's no reason to be calling this thing a scam. It is a great device. Maybe it's, if you're a console gamer and that all you play is AAA gaming titles, this isn't going to be for you, right? You're not going to be playing Call of Duty on this thing. I don't know, you might be able to, but I doubt it. You're probably not going to be playing any Electronic Arts games on this. You're not going to be playing probably any Ubisoft games. You're not going to be playing probably any game that uses de novo DRM Manager in it, which is a lot of games probably now. A lot of AAA games anyways. I don't see any reason you couldn't play like Overwatch on this, because that works. You know, so you do have some AAA games, but if that's all you do is you pay $80, you know, and buy your AAA games, and that's all you play, this is not going to be for you. If you just like a wide variety of games, you're already a Linux gamer, or you're already a PC gamer, and you're just looking for some kind of way to expand this and just get more out of your gaming experience, then this is going to be for you. So, you know, I'm not going to tell you it's a scam. It's obviously not. Would I buy it? Yes, I would buy this, but this fits me very well. This isn't going to fit your normal gamer very well. I'm just really tired of seeing journalists, they didn't, but I've seen some news articles and stuff calling it kind of a scam and how horrible it is compared to the new Xbox and PlayStation. That's not where this needs to be. That's not where they want to be in the marketplace for this. You know, if they get some console gamers, that's great. But mostly this is going to be for your people who love your classic Atari games, because they are going to have, they have the emulators, the open source emulators that have been around for years. They're going to work on this and have the Atari classic games and stuff. They're going to have new Atari games that they're going to work on. You know, so you're talking about a lot of stuff. You know, so I just wanted to give kind of a better perspective on things than what, you know, people who are just mainstream gamers who probably, I don't know this person, but I'm gonna make a guess that he pretty much just plays AAA games. Probably has never touched Linux. Probably has a bunch of Xbox and PlayStation games. You know, and if that's makes him happy and that's a great gaming experience, that's fine. For me, I like smaller games, having a huge diversity of different games to play, and I like gaming on Linux. That's kind of one of my biggest things. So I just hope that kind of sets the record straight. It's not a scam, people, and some things like that. So I guess thank you all for watching. If you'd like to follow me on Mastodon or any of that stuff, please click the title cards. I am only on open source media platforms. I don't have a Facebook, I don't have a Twitter, never will again. So see you all next time. Thank you for watching.